Heat. Let's do Heat first, because that's one of them. And I've never seen this before. That's why I picked it. I saw it on Netflix, and I was like, that's considered to be the best heist movie by a lot of people. Uh, let's watch it. And so I did. Let's put this up here. How's that look? Let's make sure everything's going smoothly in the chat and the image. Oh yeah, I gotta say right now, what a title. Simple, one syllable, one word, easy to write on the board. There's my first note. Great title. I miss the bikini coffee huts in PNW. What does that mean? Fuck Dutch brothers. Alrighty. Oh yeah, there's some. By the way, we got some commands if people want. There's like the ones at the end that are like FYD, FYS. They're like fuck you, Stevie, or frig you, Stevie, and fuck you, Doug. I think. Are those fuck Dutch brothers? Anyways, yeah, no, this is a heist movie, so and it's pretty long, and it's well written and it's well put together. But I do think it's slightly too long.
I agree.
It drags a bit. It dragged a little bit for me. But that being said, all the performances are pretty good. Al Pacino is pretty good. My dad always would say that he doesn't really like Al Pacino's performances and stuff, specifically Scarface, and I kind of get that because he's sort of overacting. And the way that my dad would put it is he would say that he always feels like he's acting, and I kind of know what he means, but at the same time, I see that more for Scarface. I get that for Scarface. In this, I think he's doing a really good job. I think it's pretty realistic. There's a couple moments where he screams really loud out of nowhere. It's like, "Give it to me, give it to me, give it to me," or something like that. And it just caught me off guard, and I actually laughed a couple of those moments. So there was a couple of overacting moments maybe, but for the most part, he was pretty even and realistic in his performance. But I like this movie generally. I'd never seen it before, but yeah, like I said, it kind of dragged. Did you watch this again for this review, G Bergs?
I did, yeah.
What do you
agree.
think? Yeah.
I pretty much agree with all your points, really. Pacino is definitely overacting a little bit in some scenes, but for the most part, he's playing pretty even keel.
Yeah.
And I mean, is he the most dynamic, Daniel Day-Lewis fucking actor? No, but he brings his own energy to the movie, right? And,
no, exactly.
I think De Niro's kind of like acting circles around him in this, but...
well, De Niro is like the best actor ever, debatably. So it's
probably
he'd be on my list of the best. I don't know if he's my favorite, but if we're talking about just the best quality actor, it might be Robert De Niro. But my favorite actor might be Jim Carrey, just because he's he's fun and shit. But no, Robert De Niro is that classic character actor. He can play a lot of different roles. He's often cast in mafia movies though. There's more than one, quite a few mafia movies, often directed by Scorsese, who directed this, by the way. Let's Google this up. I was trying to say I like the drive-through coffee huts with the strippers in bikinis serving coffee. I forgot you live in northern USA, and we live in Canada, or I guess Northern America, so same thing, sort of. And not in PNW, Pacific Northwest. Yeah, no, that is not something we have here. That is illegal. We had a lingerie football league, and that got canceled because it was too risque. So I don't think they would allow stripper coffee or whatever you're saying. That sounds cool though. I actually filmed. There was 2 of those lingerie football games that happened in Saskatoon, and I filmed both of them. It was kind of a fun job, I'm not gonna lie, but
that's awesome.
But it was kind of shitty that it got canceled. But you know what? I kind of get the complaints with it. It's it's only women being scantily clad. But what I thought they should have done is created another league of hunky guys wearing boxer shorts and playing and like no shirts or something. So you'd have like a sexy man group and a sexy lady group. So it would make it more even. That was my idea to make it less offensive, but that didn't happen. They just got rid of it. Anyway.
Yeah, that'd be tough.
Yeah, I mean that's more money too, so like I get it. But anyway, that I just wanted to share that. That was my thoughts on it. Northern USA. We got a comment, a great big convoy going across the USA. I once put on a protest for stripper rights in SK. Good. Got the entertainment community to give strippers the same rights we give to drag queens. Also raised funds for Slut Walk. Hey, that's good. Hello, Stevie Blunder. Joe Snow in the house. Did we shout out Joe Snow? We should. Shout out. I'll do it. I got this. Joe Snow. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here, everybody. But yeah, back to Heat. We went off on a tangent here a little bit. Not today. My dad's in the hospital, and I can't with anything right now. Northern. Read slower. I'm trying to keep up with all the madness. Well, yeah, it was, but you had it together. Northern. I thought I said it right. Northern. Read slower. I'm doing it. We're doing it. Anyway, back to Heat. Like I said, I'm gonna look it up actually, on Wikipedia. This is, I believe, a huge success though. It's like I said earlier, renowned as one of the best, if not the best heist movie of all time. I don't know. I don't think I've seen enough heist movies to be like, this is the best one, but this one's pretty good, I guess. There's one that I'm thinking of that I might like better though. I forget what it's called though, so that doesn't help. It's the one where like the end climax is the van. They have like their score, like the money, and there's all these people, and the van is like at the edge of a cliff, and it's like about to fall out, and like the money's in there, and it's like teetering. I don't know I forget what the movie's called. I think there's also a remake of that film. But yeah, that's not helpful. Anyway, Heat. Looking it up on Wikipedia here. Hopefully it doesn't just give me the page for like the actual word. Like Heat. Oh fuck yeah, we need the film. Heat, yeah, there we go. It was just the page for Heat, like the scientific term. I was calling Canada Northern USA. Okay, I get it. You jokester. Jokester Joe. You know, that's what we'll call you. I'm just kidding. Unless you want us to call you that, then we can. But, yeah, Heat, 1995 film. Yes, 1995. So this came out a year after I was born. There is another film called Heat from 1986. So is this a remake? No, this is just a different movie with the same name. But there's another movie called Heat from 1986. But I feel like this is the one people know. Oh, I guess the script for this was written long before even the older Heat. The script was written in 1979. That happens with a lot of movies where the script gets shopped around for a long time. Like I was watching The Movies That Made Us, that doc on Netflix. I reviewed it before. There's a new season on it though, and they have like apparently the script for Aliens was moving around a whole bunch of people before it got made. There's a lot of like good movies that like it takes a while to get picked up sometimes. So this is the case with Heat as well. Let's look at the budget and the box office. So obviously this made a fuck ton of money because it's a classic and although not all classics were huge hits in the box office, but most were. This is no exception. The $60 million budget, and it made $187.4 million, so it's quite good. Quite a good return on it. See you guys soon. Good luck with you gotta run? Okay. I love you. Have fun with whatever you gotta do, my friend. Good luck with your exam. What do you mean exam? I don't have a test. Are you making a joke? I don't get it. I'm sorry. I am slow sometimes. Anyway, moving on. Thanks for watching, folks. So like I said, this movie made a bunch of money. Well, what else do I have to say about it for like the plot and shit? I don't know. I don't really need to get into the plot. I'm just gonna say it very vaguely that it's a heist movie, like we said. So what do you think the fucking plot is? They're robbing shit. That's the basic plot. But and it gets really complicated at parts. And you know what? I'm going to admit to this, even though I feel so stupid about it. But I'm going to admit to it because it's the truth. And it took me a little while to figure it out. But I thought that Al Pacino and Robert De Niro for like the first 20 minutes of the movie were the same person. And I was and I was really, it was confusing because I was like, why is the cop also in the mafia or whatever, or also in the heist gang? But then I was like, oh fuck, Robert De Niro is a different person than Al Pacino. I don't know why, they don't even look that similar. The only thing that I can say that is similar is like the color of the hair, sort of ish, but not really even. Because Robert De Niro's got more like gray in his hair, but yeah, I want to admit to that because I felt stupid about it. And then everything started to make sense more, obviously, as I discovered that. But when I first saw that, when I first thought that they were the same person, I was like, okay, this is interesting. They have the cop working with the heist gang, and he's aware, so is he playing the police? And I thought that made me get like my own idea for a heist movie, where the cop is like is in on it, but he's not trying to fuck with the heist gang. He's trying to fuck with the police. But that's not actually what happened. That's what I thought was happening for the first little bit, until I realized that Al Pacino and Robert De Niro are different people. But yeah, I wanted to mention that, just in case you had one. Okay. Thanks, Joe. I appreciate you. Have fun, man. Take care. Thanks so much for dropping in. I do appreciate it. I'm gonna make sure I'm not missing any reward redeems or anything. Looks like we're good. But yeah, so Heat. What do you got? You got anything to say that I'm not touching on, G-Bergs?
Not really.
Fair.
Like you touched on everything. The only thing I was gonna bring up about the plot is that Pacino's got a reputation around the police station because he used to work narcotics. Now he's working robbery homicide, and yeah, he's just a loud guy, and everybody already knew that there.
Yeah.
And it's just about the police on one side and the guys taking the score on the other side.
Yeah, it's sort of like
there's just some intense moments. Like
yeah,
the title delivers. There's some hot moments, like when
yeah,
Pacino and De Niro are in the restaurant having a sit down conversation. That is just tense as all hell, and it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And there's some parts of this movie that are just awesome, like the action sequences, and there's guns shooting, and Val Kilmer's ponytail is not one of the good parts of the movie, though. It's pretty bad.
I disagree. I thought it was funny. I liked it. I
also think it's funny.
Okay, that's fair. No, but I kind of like that. It was good. Val Kilmer is fine as an actor. This is before he obviously stopped being in so much shit. But they're apparently gonna bring him.
He was really acting intense in this movie. Is all I was gonna say about Kilmer.
That's fair. They're apparently gonna bring him. I forget what's wrong with him specifically, but he has like something wrong with his body where he can't like speak properly or something, and like it's like a disease or something like that. Maybe not. I might be getting that wrong. But my point is that they might be that's why he hasn't been acting, and they might be bringing him back in a movie to bring him back as Batman or something, and put just as a cameo, and with his this might be totally incorrect. I might be getting some of this wrong, but I'm definitely getting some of this right. You know, some of the elements of this story. But yeah, Val Kilmer, they have like the technology to like bring him back and do voice software or whatever and like fix it, and digitally fix his face, because his face is, for lack of a better term, is puffy. But anyway, enough about that. Val Kilmer's in this movie. That's why we went on that tangent. But yeah, Heat is pretty good. But I don't know. It did drag a bit much for me. I don't know if I love the ending because honestly, I'm rooting for the bad guys for this fucking movie. I'm like fuck Al Pacino.
Me too.
Like fuck Al Pacino. I want them to get the money and win. I'm not gonna spoil what does happen, but
it's just intense at the end, and it's awesome.
Yeah, it's not a bad ending, but it's not what I wanted to happen. So minor note there. I didn't hate it, but it was exactly what I said. It wasn't exactly what I wanted, but no big deal. The writing is generally like pretty good. It may be a little like complicated. Like I had to go back a few times and be like, okay, like what happened there though? A few times, which is fine. But yeah, a little complicated at parts. A little note there, but it's well written, undeniably, and the dialogue is all pretty good, for the most part, I would say. Like I said, there was that part with Al Pacino that made me laugh, where he's like grabbing a guy by the shoulders, like give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. And I was like, fuck, that's funny. Just sort of out of nowhere. And yeah, you mentioned that scene where the Robert De Niro and Al Pacino have a conversation in a coffee shop, and it's intense, and it is. But I just wonder how realistic this is, and I don't really know, but I just feel like that wouldn't happen for one of two reasons. Like either Robert De Niro's character would be like, fuck, I don't have to fucking do this. I'm not gonna talk to you. Number two, I don't even know if that's legal to like talk to someone that you suspect of being a criminal, but you don't have proof. Like, I'm not even sure if that's legal or not, but maybe it is. Yeah. So that's just a minor note. Not sure how realistic that is, but maybe.
Yeah, they had no evidence on De Niro at all, so it's not like he could make an arrest or anything like that. Yeah, but he just
agreed to it. Like, I get, like, but yeah. So
yeah, and Pacino was following him. Remember that scene right before the coffee shop scene? He follows him, and then he kind of pulls him over, and De Niro's gonna shoot him, and then, not to give it all away, but then Pacino's like, let's go have a talk.
Yeah.
Let's go let me buy you a cup of coffee.
Mm-hmm.
And then he says, follow me. Mm-hmm. And, it was kind of like a strong arm move by Pacino. He's like, what are you going to do? Like, shoot me in the middle of the street, and then there might be possibly witnesses, and you're killing a cop. But they know who each other are, but they can't prove it, right? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's also interesting parts of that, with like, you wonder, it's sort of like a game of cat and mouse between Robert De Niro and Al Pacino throughout the movie, and at one point you're like, okay, Al Pacino has the upper hand, but then later on you're like, oh, maybe Robert De Niro has the upper hand, though. And then it keeps sort of going back and forth like that throughout the film, which is good. That, it adds to the sort of like, I don't know what's gonna fucking happen, who's gonna win, I don't know. And it makes it interesting. And then it sort of makes you want to keep watching it. But yeah, like I said, this movie made a bunch of money. We mentioned the cast, like the main cast. I'm wondering if there's any... Jon Voight. Jon Voight is a notable actor. He's in it. He plays sort of like the dispatcher. He sort of like sets up the jobs and stuff, it appears, for the heist gang. But who else? I'm just gonna read this whole list of actors.
Who's the director?
Oh yeah, right. We were gonna say that because I forget. Michael Mann, and
Michael Mann.
I've heard that name before, but I don't know what else he did. Manhunter, 1981. Something called Thief, from 1981. Oh no, Manhunter's 1986. Sorry. And The Last of the Mohicans, which I've heard of, but I haven't seen.
Oh, he did. Manhunter is the predecessor to Silence of the Lambs. That's a Hannibal Lecter movie.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah, I have heard of that, but I haven't seen it. The Last of the Mohicans, Heat, which we know, The Insider. He's done some shit. Collateral, which I've heard of, but I haven't seen. And The Insider. A lot of these movies are like genres that I don't watch that much of, so I haven't seen them. And like this genre, even like I haven't seen this movie, and that's sort of why I wanted to, because this is like supposed to be one of the best ones of this genre, even though it's not one of my favorite genres. But anyway, yeah, Michael Mann directed Heat, so now we know that. But I am running out of shit to say about it, so unless you got anything else to say, I'm gonna wrap it up.
Did you like the scene where Pacino was yelling at Hank Azaria?
Oh, okay. Fuck, who is Hank Azaria again? Is that the guy?
He's a dude that
does
voices
the
on
Simpsons.
The Simpsons.
That's what I thought. Okay, yes.
Yeah, and he goes, who? And then Al Pacino goes, what are you, a fucking owl? And Pacino just says it so fucking good. and then that's the part where it says, she's got a great ass, doesn't she?
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah. Silly.
Oh, right, that part where there's the guy sort of like who's dating his woman or something, or am I getting that wrong?
He's dating Val Kilmer's woman.
Right.
Hank Azaria, I'm pretty sure. I
gotta
watch this movie again too. Like, it's kind of long and fucking complicated.
Yeah, exactly. There's parts that I had to go back on, and I think I got like the gist, but there might be like little details I missed for sure. But yeah. Oh, and Danny Trejo is in this, and his name is Trejo in the movie, which is kind of
right.
Funny. And yeah. I don't want to spoil what happens to him. And then there's Kevin Gage as Waingro. And Waingro, let's talk about him real quick, because he starts off in the movie. The first heist they do in the movie is of an armored car, and they have this guy Waingro. And he's is the new addition to the team, I guess.
Yeah.
And he ends up like fucking it up by basically killing someone that he didn't need to kill. And jeopardizing the operation, and you know, I'm not going to ruin too much, but that comes into it later too, but that's like right at the beginning of the movie, or at least near the beginning anyway. Like I said, this movie's fucking basically 3 hours. It's 2 hours and 50 minutes, so long.
And there's an intense scene with the guy that fucks up in De Niro too. Yeah, there's just lots of intense stuff. High heat. Yeah,
and they say heat at one point. Like, I love that. They said the movie in the movie. Oh, man.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, heat. Anyway, I'm ready to wrap it up if you are.
Yep.
Okay, let's do it. I'm going to rate it. I'm going to put on a beat while I rate it. You can... Actually, you tell me what your rating is, because you can't type.
I'm going 8 out of 10, I think.
Alright, 8 out of 10. Well, I'm just gonna say Bergs. 8 out of 10 Bergs. I'm gonna give it... I didn't like it as much as you, I don't think. I'm gonna give it 7.6. Because it is pretty good.
Nice.
But it's just a little long. And a little complicated, and it's not my favorite genre, so 7.6. But it is good, undeniably. Like, I get why it's so well renowned and shit. But here's a beat from Turner Music SK. Eight out of 10 Bergs. 8 out of Bergs I just have. 8 out of 10 though. Heat. 7.6 out of 10 dogs, 8 out of 10 Bergs. That's right, this is what the truth that you heard. Alright, Heat.